going on, everyone? This is the Raikazi here. Today there's been a new Pokemon Presents, and I know I haven't been here in a bit, and I wanted to actually go ahead and do my kind of more of an in-depth reaction to the later portion of the Pokemon Presents. I don't get into Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Go, or anything like that, so those parts didn't actually pertain to me. So I want to just dive in a little bit more in on this here for see some things that maybe you all might have missed or might be looking forward to. But with that being said, I am still going to be coming back. I'm still going to be doing some streams, which will purely be on Twitch. There'll actually be other games as opposed to just Pokemon. A schedule will be coming out on that in due time. There's some things that I'm just working on at the current time for right now before I can actually set that up. But with that aside, I want to go ahead, dive in onto this portion here and see what we got in this current Pokemon Presents and what we are looking forward to in the Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet. So let's go ahead and dive right in, because this is the second portion after they did the initial trailer, which they showed a bunch of the Pokemon and they were doing some of the new battle, I think battle mechanic, and this part was going to go more in depth on that. So if you haven't checked out the video, the link to that will be in the description below for you can see the full Pokemon Presents. But with that being said, we're going to dive in on the current setup here and see what we're working with here.
The newest titles in the Pokemon series are the Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet games. These titles will be open-world RPGs, a first for the Pokemon series.
Okay, so right here already, they're saying that this is going to be the first in its series for the Pokemon for it going to be the an open world. Therefore, even as they're saying with Pokemon Sword and Shield, we had the open world that was in the wild area, but this one is going to be more like Legends Arceus, where it's the open world, but it wasn't really that much of an RPG per se, but this one actually has more of that RPG format, so it's keeping everything from the old Pokemon games and on top of that incorporating the open world. So that is something awesome to see. And as you can see, there's actually Pokemon in the open area. We're still not sure whether or not if the grass is just going to shake, we're going to encounter Pokemon that way, or if it's only going to be the Pokemon on the outside, and then we'll be able to do those type of encounters. And on top of that, will we still be able to see shinies like how we did in Legends Arceus? That is still yet to be determined, but that is still things that we're going to be hopeful to see here in the near future.
Different towns weave together to form
Right,
the
you.
Paldea region, where your new adventure will unfold.
All right, so we are going to be riding on our legendary Pokemon. Seems kind of odd that we're going to be using our legendaries to just turn them into vehicles for the entire thing, but okay.
These are the legendary Pokemon, Koraidon and Miraidon. You'll rely...
I'm sorry, Koraidon, mwah, magnifique. Well, they both look awesome, but Koraidon, that's gonna be my main game. I'm already choosing that as my main game. But of course I'm gonna get both, but you know.
Partner can change forms as needed while you explore every nook and cranny of the region with them.
So what I'm hoping for is that we have the control. I don't want it to do a hand holding to where it automatically, like if you jump off a cliff, it automatically starts flying. I want us to just dive in, but let's say if we jump off a cliff while on the riding Pokemon, then when we just simply press the button, it just automatically transforms. So we still have the control, but not having to toggle through as many options before getting there. So that's what I'm hoping for.
3 grand stories are waiting for you.
3 grand stories. I think that's very important that we have here, because I don't think that they go into all the stories.
One story will revolve around the familiar gym battles. You'll go to 8 Pokemon gyms and aim for the champion rank. In these games, there is no set path you must take when challenging the gyms.
This is important information. There is no set path. So the question then becomes, what will the level of the Pokemon be of the opponent whenever you arrive to these areas? So if it's open world, you can go wherever you want. If they're not going to handhold us and we choose the path, then can we basically hit like the 8th gym first? And then they say, okay, because you're here first, my Pokemon level is going to be level 10. Or if you just show up there early with like, I don't know, a Caterpie, and then they have like a level 70, I don't know, fully evolved dragon, I don't know. So is that going to be the case? And then you're like, oh crap, I just got my butt handed to me. Let me find another gym that I can work with. Maybe they'll tell us what their levels are. I don't know. Or maybe it's just automatically going to happen. But I think for some of these Pokemon, what if they evolve at like later levels? Should the gym leaders have them at lower levels? I think that's going to be what needs to be answered. But if we can make that even more difficult for ourselves when we're going in there, that'll be pretty awesome. So it's good to see.
Chart your very own course along Victory Road. Which story will you begin with? How will you progress through them? It is all up to you.
Okay, so as we see, they mentioned there's 3 storylines, but they've only really went into depth of one, and just about the gym leaders. What about the other 2 stories? I think that's going to be important that we got to see.
There's also Penny.
Okay, this right here. This right here. Okay, I have not made any videos on this, and I'm going to go into more detail on this probably in the future here. But as you can see, this character's I don't even know what's his name.
In your grade.
Penny. Okay, Penny, this shy individual, this Eevee. This Eevee, or is it really an Eevee? If I can just backscale it just a little. All right, right here. So look at this Eevee, or Eevee as we want to call it. This extra fluff, are we going to consider this as just as decoration? Is it to commemorate for the G-Max Eevee? Or could this be Eevee's evolution? And what I haven't gone into any detail on, which I'll probably do a separate video on as to why I feel as though this is what's going to be. But my belief is that Eevee's evolution, new evolution, will be normal type. I'll do a separate video on that to explain why my theory is based upon Eevee being a normal type. But as of right now, that does not have the typical straps or anything that would, for all that extra fluff there, does not resemble a true Eevee. So I really feel as though that is an evolution for Eevee. Okay, the Pokemon.
Many different species of Pokemon also call the Paldea region home. This Pokemon is the Paldean regional form of Wooper.
So this is awesome that we have the regional form of Wooper here. They don't go into its typing, but it does mention that it does have the coverage itself in poison. So it's definitely going to be a poison type. Does it have a secondary typing like poison ground, or is it just pure poison? Surely not pure poison. Maybe poison water. I'm not sure. But actually, I hope it's not poison water because we have enough of those. But yeah. We'll see what this turns out to be for Wooper. I hope its stats will be different whenever it evolves. What if it's not even Quagsire? What if it's a branch evolution? Might be interesting.
Lives on the land and covers its body with a poisonous film.
Fido. And it's basically dough.
Delightfully squishy Pokemon that are smooth to the touch. And here's Titan, which has a large body and a hard horn that can freeze its surroundings.
All right, so Titan kind of reminds me of Guzzlord. Yeah, but it's going to be slow. It looks like a very slow Pokemon. If we look back to this shot here, this was a little bit earlier when you actually sent out your Arcanine. Clearly, we are seeing here that the attack is super effective. Yes, she's an Ice-type gym leader. Obviously, she's going to be doing that. But if this Pokemon was also kind of part Dragon, that would mean that it would be regular damage because Fire attacks is not super effective against Dragons. It's actually not very effective. So here we are basically identifying that this is not a Dragon, even though it kind of looks like a Dragon, but it is not, in fact, a Dragon. It's not going to be a Water type. It is either going to be pure Ice type, maybe Ice normal, or something of the sort. Oh, if it's Ice normal, that'll be bad. It'll die against a fighting attack. But basically, it is in fact not in a dragon. So even though it kind of has a similar look-ish to Guzzlord, it's definitely not a dragon. So unless it evolves into a dragon, maybe it's not an evolved Pokemon. Who knows? One thing we are noticing though is that they are not showing the Pokemon's level in the upper right hand corner. So that's interesting. But now let's go ahead and continue back to where we were.
And here's Titan, which has a large body and a hard horn that can freeze its surroundings. Of course, we also have the Pokemon from which you'll choose your first partner. Sprigatito, Fuecoco,
Fuecoco!
and Quaxley. Enjoy meeting lots of Pokemon. And complete your Pokédex as part of your adventure.
Okay, and one thing if you didn't just notice is that all of those encounters were those what do we call that? Static encounters, where basically the Pokemon are standing outside and you actually walked up to them. It did not have the animation of the grass rustling, so that is something that's important there. Another thing in terms of the Pokemon that were being transferred. Let's see there. All right, so here we also have Ice-Cube going here and Stonejourner. So these are even more Pokemon even from the Galar region. I'm really feeling as though this game is going to hold all the Pokemon. It's really encompassing a ton of the Pokedex here. Maybe we might start off with a limited dex as they typically do, but the fact that I've already seen Houndour, Houndoom, there was the Murkrow and everything, that is already making me super hyped, because if I can want to bring my Murkrow back into some battles, and I love my shiny Houndoom, so I really want to bring that back. Wait, hold on, let's go back. Okay, so our rival more than likely is going to be picking the Pokemon that is weak to us, because typically if we're seeing something in the Pokedex, seems to be what our Pokedex is. So as you can see, we caught Lechonk. It's registered to our Pokedex. We have Sprigatito, but yet Quaxley is grayed out, which means we did not capture Quaxley. So who will actually be battling us for us to actually see Quaxley in the battle, because we don't see Fuecoco. So 1 through 3 will be Sprigatito, 4 through 6 will be Fuecoco's evolution line, and then 7 through 9 will be Quaxley's evolution line. So the fact that we chose the grass type and our, I'm assuming, rival would have chosen Quaxley would mean that they are not going to be as difficult. They are going to be choosing the Pokemon weak to us. So, I'm not too fond for that, but yeah. That looks interesting.
The Union Circle, you can enjoy co-op play with up to 3 friends.
Now I'm hoping that this co-op play is going to be a whole lot better than Sword and Shield, because I was thinking it was going to be something different, and then it just wasn't. This looks as though we're actually going in the field, but I'm wondering if we are truly going to be seeing one another. If like somebody from elsewhere is going to like turn in one random direction, if on my screen will they do the exact same thing, or are they just going to walk with me? And if you find something, you say, hey everybody, and then if everybody's screen freezes, says this person found something, would you like to join, yes or no? I don't know how this is really going to look, because surely you can't like have everybody going in the same direction at the same time, and surely not everybody's going to be going in opposite directions. You need to have like a leader or something that's going to guide the whole path. So find that to be something that probably might need some weeding, more information to how this works, but still good. The fact that it is not just the Den Adventures or something like that. I mean, this is better.
And you haven't yet discovered.
Okay, and here we just have ourselves as a multi-battle. I'm hoping this is doubles and there's 2 teammates against 2 others, not that it's let's say for example a free-for-all battle royale or anything like that. Don't really care much for the battle royales, but it's hard to tell from this angle whether or not if they're all facing one specific, like facing opposite side of the screen or the field, or are they more in a circle kind of to face off against one another. That I'm not sure of. This is going to be the new battle mechanic, which looks very similar to that of Gigantamax and Dynamaxing Pokemon. So let's see if I can get some more information on this here. So that's grass.
The terrestrial phenomenon makes Pokemon shine like gems. A boost to a Pokemon's type and make its moves stronger.
Okay. So right here, this is where it's, so far it seems very specific, but there's a question that I have already. One, great, all Pokemon can terrestrialize. Great, awesome. However, what it says is that it boosts the Pokemon's type and their moves. I understand the moves, maybe like, let's say, for example, Quaxley has the water terrestrialization going on right now. So its water attacks are going to be a little bit stronger. But when it says it boosts its type, how does it boost its type? That is the true question here.
Some Pokemon will change type when they terrestrialize.
There we go. So they change their type.
What type they become seems to depend on that Pokemon's Terra type.
Okay, so this is where it becomes the big question here. So like that Pikachu, for example, its Terra type was a flying. This Drifloon, its Terra type is fire. That other person, it was normal. But if it says it's boosting its type, but then again it's saying that it might change their type, the question is, number one, for how long? Number two, if it's like a boost to the type, I'm trying to still figure out what it means by boosting the Pokemon's type. Because Pikachu is not a flying type. Becomes that type, does that mean that, like, for example, will Pikachu suddenly become weak to rock attacks or ice attacks? Or does it automatically just float and gain that ability but doesn't gain the weaknesses? See, that's where the question then truly begins to work in my brain, so I can think about making plans for VGC battles coming up soon, because we are going to make the goal to go to Worlds next year.
For example, an Eevee would typically remain normal type after terrestrializing, but there could be Eevee that become grass or water type after terrestrializing.
See, so that is the thing. So they say they can become those type. Great, but the first thing it says, it boosts the type, which whatever type it is, and then it also boosts the moves up, and which is going to be based upon that type of attack. Great. Question still remains: what are they talking about when they say that it's going to evolve? And something that I am even now realizing: are these Ghastlies a little different? Their hue is a little bit different, but it's cold in the area. Maybe that's why. But these Ghastlies might be a little different. Maybe. I'm not sure. The Haunter looks normal over there. But yeah, terrestrialization, that's going to be something pretty epic, I feel.
We hope you'll try to catch Pokemon with rare Terra types.
Terra raid battles. So they're bringing back like the
Pokemon
Dynamax raid battles.
Terra types are more likely to appear in Terra raid battles.
Like hidden abilities and stuff like that.
This is a new kind of raid battle where you can attack or heal with your own timing without having to wait for your allies.
So that is very important. So the fact that you don't have to wait on your teammates and you can keep on moving. I'm wondering, like, so just keep attacking. Like, why would you not just keep attacking, or just like, hey, somebody's weakened up, I'm just gonna heal? Like, what is this going on here? So I really like this idea that we don't have to really stress on everybody else. But I hope, please, for love of everything, please, people, do not join in these matches together and then just sit there and do nothing and leave your friends just sitting there. That's just going to be horrible. And I hope the AI is going to be a whole lot better if you don't have other people that you can join in, and then they just join in these raids and they don't do anything, just derpy. Let's just hope. They probably will, but let's just still hope.
Cooperate with your allies to get the upper hand in these battles.
Whoa, wait. What I'm now realizing is All the Pokemon here are terrestrialized. All the Pokemon are terrestrialized. It's not like just one person can terrestrialize on the team. All four of them are. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. So does that mean we can do more than one in a match? Why not just terrestrialize all your entire team every time? What's the drawback? There's got to be a drawback because the point of the battle will have to be that we'll need to have like a limitation on when we can terrestrialize and what it's going to. Okay, in this one we can knock out the Terra Pokemon, and then capture it. But obviously in the wild encounters we cannot do that. You got to bring it down to low health and then capture it. So that's a big difference. Don't mess that up. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's how they terrestrialize Pokemon.
We've kept all the things you love about Pokemon, while evolving the adventure you can have in Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. We hope you look forward to the day you set out on your adventure.
All right. So that is the end of that. He's about to do just his closing comments, and then we move on. So I am truly, in fact, going to say I am, in fact, excited about this game. It definitely looks great. I'm really wanting to work really hard on my VGC work. COVID and all the lack of regionals, and then there's popping up random places and all that stuff, not being able to get points just doing it online. Didn't really have the motivation to do it. And then I love the current season that's coming, well, the newest season that's getting ready to come out, that's allowing the mythicals. I think it's just to close out the game, but I really hope that we can continue to incorporate some of these things as something different. So when the new game does come out, I really want to work hard to aim to go to Worlds, at least make it to Worlds. That's my biggest goal before I close out my Pokemon journey. So this is something that I am looking forward to. It's going to be great. And like I said, it's going to be my last generation, not my last year of Pokemon, but it's my last generation. So we still got a couple years, so we're good. We're good. But as of right now, this is all we know so far. We got some questions that we need answered based upon how the terrestrialization works, what it does truly to our types, what is it going to, when it says boost your type, what does that truly mean? We need to know which all the Pokemon are actually going to be in the game. What is the VGC competitive scene going to look like? Able to see shinies in the overworld before we encounter them. We'll be able to, what are the legends that we're going to be able to hunt? What are the other two storylines that we are able to venture out in? I think there's a lot to this game, and I think it's going to be great. I'm not too stressing about much of anything else on it. It's really looking good, and we still got a few more months. So I hope you all are getting excited. The new battle is getting ready to start. We are going to get ready to work for that. So looking forward to it. Hope to see you all at that point. But as for right now, we're just going to be doing some other streams, general games and things like that. So for right now, this is just going to be the Rakaza signing off. You all know what to do. You stay strong and power on. Catch y'all later.